Hello, welcome to second session on vocabulary building. In first session, we have seen trick number one, how to develop vocabulary. And today's session, we are going to see very interesting part of word formation, and especially we are going to focus on derivation. What is derivation? It's a part of that is affixation, and what is prefixes and suffixes, and all that we are going to see in this particular session. We are going to see various methods, various ways of word formation in English, and we are going to focus on these prefixes and suffixes. Particularly, we are starting with prefixes. Understand those prefixes and go ahead with very limited number of prefixes and practicing those in our daily conversation. So let's begin. Now, what dictionary.com suggests, it suggests that almost 80% of the words in English dictionary derive from words of non-English origin. It surprises us that English, international language, has its 80% of the words derived from other languages. What is the formation? What is that percentage? Let us see. Look at this. Almost 29% words in English are derived from Latin. Equal percentage of words are derived from French. Almost 26% of the words are derived from Germanic languages. 6% from Greek language. Around 6% from some other languages. And there are 4% which are derived from proper names. So this all shows that English is actually the language of various languages. Any new word occurs in any language that has origin, that has place in English language. There are so many words derived from Indian languages as well. Let us see. Now, when we look at this word formation process, there are certain steps, there are certain, let us say, levels at which it happens. That is, English language, the words in English language are formed with the help of certain processes, and there are these 8 major processes. I am going to focus those 8 processes, and we are going to focus on derivation in this session. So the first word formation process is called as borrowing, in which the words are taken from other languages. For example, piano, pizza, they are the words derived from Italian language. Sofa is an Arabic word. Paisama, chutney, bungalow, ghee, namaste, namaskar, jugaad, all those are the Indian words, or let us say the words derived from Indian languages into English. That is known as borrowing. The second word formation process is compounding, in which 2 or more words are joined together and a new word is formed. Like homework, from home and work, 2 independent words, they are compounded and a new word is formed, homework. Same way, raincoat, classroom, etc. The third is clipping, shortening a word. Like we have a telephone, but we have a habit of saying only phone. And these all words have dictionary origin. They have their meaning. Telephone, phone. Refrigerator, we call it simply fridge. We do not use the full. Internet, we usually say net. So that is called as clipping, in which either the first part or the middle part is taken. First part is cut, last part is cut, or the middle part only is taken. The next is called as blending, in which parts of 2 or more words form a new word. Like camera plus recorder, it becomes cam recorder. So parts of 2 or more words, they form a new word. Like netizen, this is the combination of internet citizen. In the same way, breakfast plus lunch, it becomes brunch. A food which we take between breakfast and lunch is called as brunch. Web and seminar, it is webinar, and so on. Next is acronym, in which the first letters of words are taken and a new word is formed which has dictionary origin, which has dictionary meaning. Like for example, ATM, automated teller machine. PIN, personal identification number, RAM, random access memory. Same way NASA, scuba, UNESCO, and there are so many. Next is eponym. This is something new and something which most of us are not aware about. So there are certain words which are taken as it is the names of products or person or places. For example, Xerox, name of the company. Kodak, again name of the product. Now how the sandwich and boycott, those words are taken. The story is very interesting. So the sandwich, this is mid 18th century, named after the 4th Earl of Sandwich, an English nobleman said to have eaten food in this form so as not to leave the gaming table. So the person named Sandwich, Earl of Sandwich, he has the habit of eating such kind of food so that he does not miss the games in between. That's why that is called as sandwich. Same way, boycott is from the name of Captain Charles C. Boycott, an Irish land agent, so treated in 1880 in an attempt instigated by the Irish Land League to get rents reduced. That is, he was a land agent, and most of the during those days some drought or something happened, and he was requested by his tenants that to reduce some kind of rent and some kind of let us say money also, but he did not do, and that's why the people, all those his tenants and workers, boycotted him, and that particular word derived from him, that is boycott. There are so many eponyms. You can go on internet and you can find out very interesting stories are available. Back formation is reduction and a new word is formed. Like there is a one origin word and that is reduced to form new word. For example, editor is the original word, then edit is derived from that. In the same way, television is the original word. Televise is now back formed with the help of that. Beg, beggar. This is what we are going to focus today, derivation, because all other processes, yes, they are also having a lot of contribution in English vocabulary, but derivation is the most common and mostly used, and most of the words are derived in this particular method. So what is derivation? Deriving from base forms with additions, that is deriving, taking from the base form and making new words like unkind, unkindly, kindness, impolite, politely. Now so kind is the base word, we add un, then we add dly, and the new words are formed. So these are the 8 word formation process in English. We are going to focus on derivations. Particularly we are going to focus on prefixes and suffixes, and video wise we are going to focus limited part. So let us see now prefixes and suffixes. You must have read somewhere or you must have been taught what is prefix and suffix. Let me just briefly review that. What is a prefix? It is a letter or group of letters added to the beginning of a word to make a new word. Meaning changes when you add that particular word. A part of speech may change, may not change. What is a suffix? A letter or group of letters added at the end of a word to make a new word. Meaning changes, part of speech also changes most of the time. So prefix, something which is added before the word. Suffix, which is something added after the word, and a new word is formed. How will you check the authenticity of that word? You have to go to dictionary and find if that word has its origin in the dictionary. So let me give you one example. So the product now is the root or the base word. It is a noun. I add IVE suffix, so it becomes productive and it becomes adjective now. Now suffixes, part of speech changed. Then I add un as a prefix before the word productive. I add un or un as a prefix, so that becomes unproductive. Now I add ly at the end of productive, so that becomes adverb now, productively, right? That becomes adverb when I add ly at the end. And again I add un before productively, that becomes unproductively. So product, productive, productively, unproductive, unproductively. With the help of only one word, we formed 4 different words with the help of this derivation by adding prefixes and suffixes. Alright, so let us go ahead and focus on the most common prefixes which help form various words in English language, and there are certain confusing prefixes as well which most of the time confuse us when we are creating the words, when we are using the words in spoken language. So first in this session, let us focus on negative prefixes and find their examples and do one task. At the end of this session, you are going to face one task, and we are going to have one exercise, as well as I'm going to give you one task. Let us see if you can complete that. So negative prefixes, first, they denote the opposite. They negate the word or the meaning of the word. For example, in and un. These are two negative prefixes, two of the negative prefixes. So in, for example, insufficient. So sufficient, in is prefixed before the word, it becomes negative. So sufficient is enough, but insufficient, not enough. Valid, invalid, we added in. In the same way, appropriate, inappropriate. Active, inactive. When we add un, again in front of important, unimportant. Pleasant, unpleasant. Happy, unhappy. Do, undo. Right, let me tell you one confusing part here. Keep in mind, if you just exchange use of these two negative prefixes, the meaning may get changed. For example, you want to say something is less valuable, and if you say invaluable because in is the negative prefix, no, the meaning changes, because invaluable actually adds the value to a particular thing. So it is extremely useful, right? You have to say unvaluable, that is less or no valuable. So most of the time we get confused. In the same way, sometimes flammable, inflammable, both are same. There are certain exceptions. So the proper use and let us say practice makes us better in using such prefixes. Next, impolite, improper, imperfect, immoral, impossible, all are denoting opposite or the negation. Polite, a person is very polite, but that person is not polite, he is very impolite. Instead of saying not polite, we say impolite. Proper, not proper, no, improper is the correct word. Perfect, imperfect. Moral, immoral. Possible, impossible. And last one is ill. Second last is illegal, illogical, illiterate, illegitimate, that is unlawful, and so on. And last one is IR, that is irregular, regular, irregular, responsible, irresponsible, relevant, irrelevant, rational, irrational. Now these five, IN, UN, IM, IL and IR are the five prefixes in English language which are called as negative prefixes, and they negate the meaning, they denote the opposite of a particular word. Alright, now instead of, you can simply use not before each of those words, but that is not the proper use of language. You cannot say not valid. Yeah, that is accepted. But when you say invalid, that adds standard to your language. Right? Instead of saying not appropriate, when you say inappropriate, that becomes good English. Right? So let us do exercise now. Just as usual, pause the video whenever you see a sentence, or you can simply have the answers in your mind and go ahead with. Right? You have to just simply choose from those given in the bracket. They say he has a dash dash face. Dishonest, ill-honest, inhonest. I have an dash dash fear of mice. Irrational, irrational, disrational. The Joker character in Batman is Irson, insane, Iceland. In the UK, it's dash dash to smoke in bars and restaurants. Illegal, illegal, illegal. Now, how to identify? I guess I'm deliberately uttering those words because which sounds acceptable to us, automatically we get habit of using those prefixes. Right? Which does not sound good to our ears, definitely that is something which have not heard before, that is not in use. The simple method of learning prefixes, correct prefixes. The fifth, it's dash dash that we have to work while they are on holiday. Disfair we don't say. Unfair, yeah. Unfair, confusion. So you choose. I am too dash dash to go fishing. Impatient, impatient, unpatient. He is so dash dash even after all the help we gave him. Ingrateful, ungrateful, ingrateful. He still acts like a child. He is so immature, immature, immature. I think the information in this report is dash dash. It doesn't look right. Right. So you choose from this: inaccurate, inaccurate, inaccurate. His attempt to break the world record was dash dash. Unsuccessful, dissuccessful, unsuccessful. Right. I hope you have got your keys, your answers. Let us see now. The first is dishonest. They say he has a dishonest face. Second, I have an irrational fear of mice. The Joker character in Batman is insane. In the UK, it's illegal to smoke in bars and restaurants. It's unfair that we have to work while they are on holiday. I am too impatient to go fishing. He is so ungrateful even after all the help we gave him. He still acts like a child. He is so immature. I think the information in this report is inaccurate. And his attempt to break the world record was unsuccessful. Alright, so let us go ahead, and this is the task for you now. The task is simple. What you are supposed to do, use these negative prefixes in, un, im, il and ir or ir in as many words as you can and post those words in the comment section. Right, that is the one task. Second task is it's very interesting. You have to use both positive and negative words in one sentence and post in comment section. So at least one on each negative prefix you have to post. That is, you have to find word and you have to use positive and negative with the help of that negative prefixes, and you have to use both the words in one sentence. I have given one example here. That is, see, such tasks will definitely help you convert your inactive vocabulary into active. So I have used here active and inactive in one sentence. You are supposed to use such sentences with those 5 negative prefixes. Do this and post in comment section. I am waiting and I am going to give individual replies to your words, and I am going to even tell you if the sentences that you are creating are acceptable or not. That is enough for today's session. See you in next part, in next trick in vocabulary building. Till then, let's stay connected to grow together. Thank you.